On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, the Great War came to an end. At 5 a.m. that morning, Germany, exhausted and on the brink of invasion, agreed to an armistice with the Allies in a railroad car near Compiègne, France. The war had claimed the lives of 9 million soldiers and left 21 million wounded, with Germany, Russia, Austria-Hungary, France, and Great Britain each suffering nearly 1 million or more fatalities. Additionally, at least 5 million civilians perished due to disease, starvation, or exposure. The armistice signed on the 11th of November, 1918, at Le Franc port near Compiègne marked the end of World War I. Hostilities between Germany and the Entente on all fronts, land, sea, and air. Prior agreements had already been made with Bulgaria, the Ottoman Empire, and Austria-Hungary. The German government initiated the process by contacting U.S. President Woodrow Wilson to negotiate terms, drawing on his 14 points, which would later guide Germany's formal surrender at the Paris Peace Conference in 1919. The 11th of November, 1918, marked a decisive victory for the Entente and a significant setback for Germany, but it was not an outright surrender. The armistice terms, primarily drawn up by Foch, stipulated the cessation of hostilities on the Western Front, the withdrawal of German forces from areas west of the Rhine, the occupation of the Rhineland and strategic bridgeheads by the Entente, the protection of civilian infrastructure, the surrender of German military equipment, the release of Allied prisoners and civilians, reparations to be determined later, the retention of German prisoners, and the continuation of the naval blockade. Many artillery units continued firing on German targets to avoid having to transport their leftover ammunition. The Allies also wanted to ensure they were in the strongest possible position in case fighting resumed. As a result, there were 10,944 casualties on the final day of the war, including 2,738 fatalities. The armistice was extended 3 times as negotiations for a peace treaty went on. The Treaty of Versailles, signed on the 28th of June, 1919, came into effect on the 10th of January, 1920. Fighting persisted until 11 a.m. Set on the 11th of November, 1918, with 2,738 men losing their lives on the final day of the war.